So I thought it would be nice to do a Q&A with my son who is behind the camera right
Oi,
now.
mate.
He was asked to come up with a plant that he likes and ask 10 questions of me about it that he is interested in and that they are questions that you might be interested in as well. So now I do not know any of the questions. The only thing that I do know is that the questions are about Japanese maple. So that is it. And later on, maybe we'll do some bonus questions as well. We never know. Now, my son is a funny guy. I always say if Jim Carrey had a son, it's probably my son. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get started and see what questions he has come up about Japanese maple.
Alright, so our first question is how many types of Japanese maples are there?
Oh my goodness. All right, I do not know on top of my head, but I would say there are probably hundreds and hundreds. That's probably a good
Estimate?
That's probably a good estimate. I would be surprised if there are thousands. You never know, there might be some thousands. I might have to research this after and put it on the screen for you. So right now my answer is hundreds and hundreds.
Alright, so question 2. How do you identify a Japanese maple?
How do you identify a Japanese maple? That is a good question. Hmm. So the Japanese maples that I am familiar with are the ones either have leaf shaped like your palm. That's why it gets the name, or they get the name of palmatum. And then within the palmatum, some of the Japanese maples have even more kind of like um, they're deeply cut. So they're called dissectum Japanese maple, where within the five little palm like fingers thing, you have more sections, dig more sections than the five. So, like, that's a okay. You know, you guys know that words are hard for me. So they have the palms have been dissected. So now you have more fingers, so to speak. And typically, the dissectum ones are more weeping kind. So they're lower to the ground, but they do spread wider. So those are the two types that I know. And I know that people say that there's another one that I'm thinking of that I just learned that is more than the palmatum and the dissectum. Um, is it something to do with moon shape or moon leaf shaped? Something like that. They're deciduous plants. They die back in the winter. Also, they have different color leaves depending on the season for some of them, like the one in the front right here. It gets different, well, it's a different color depending on the season. So in the spring, it's this nice purplish reddish color, and then as it transitions into
Summer.
summer, it gets the leaves become greener and greener, and then by fall, you'll get like bright orange reddish color. Some Japanese maples don't really change color, like the bloodgood Japanese maple. They pretty much stay reddish color, like the one to the left of me here. So I think those are some things that's how I would be able to identify I would call the most common Japanese
Alright,
maples.
our next question is what makes a Japanese maple a Japanese maple? Like, what makes it special between all these other plants here?
I guess that's kind of like the other question, right? But anyway, a Japanese maple, what makes it different is that, well, it's a tree for one, and it has a nice structural shape. Like with ours right here in the front, it has such a nice branch
cellular
structure.
structure, basically.
Yeah, I mean you can prune it and it can get you it can go the way that you want it to go. So it has a nice structural um, effect to your garden, and it could be used as an anchor plant, which means that it's a plant that you put like in your bed, in like a garden bed, and that will become like the focal point of your bed, your garden. So it's a nice focal plant. I don't. Did I answer your question? Like, what makes it a Japanese maple?
Yeah, basically. Next question. When did you get your first Japanese maple, or like owned your first?
Okay. Okay. Good. I think that's the easiest so far. So I purchased the first Japanese maple. Um, I believe in 2020. It had to be in early, maybe in the spring of 2020. 2019, we were focused on developing the hardscape, and I know I bought some plants within that within 2019, but probably not too many because at the time I was just thinking that's done, the hardscape's done, I don't need to worry about a lot of plants. I think that's what was the case, and then probably changed my mind in 2020 spring around that time, and that's when I was like, okay, let's go out and buy some more plants. I think that's what happened. It just has become a blur sometimes because um, busy with work and busy with my son who was still young, and then also just busy with just getting plants in as much as possible, um, weeding and all that. So I couldn't remember a lot of it, but I would say a safe answer would be 2020. Oh my
Alright.
gosh, that was a long answer to one question.
You're like, it's the easiest question.
I know, but I wanted to elaborate.
Alright, next question. Are Japanese maples annual or perennial?
Well, you can consider it a perennial, but when you talk about trees, um, you can think of it as more a deciduous. So that's what you would have to, more likely, that would be the correct word for it, is that it's a deciduous tree, which means that it loses its leaves in the winter,
Alright, next
fall, winter.
question. Do Japanese maples flower?
Yes, they do flower. They look like little helicopters. I don't think there are any more right now, but yeah, the ones that I've seen, they look like that one in the front of me here. It's it's like yellowish, pinkish around the edges. I have to say I don't pay attention much to the flowers, but yeah, they look like little helicopters, and they have seeds in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. When in the spring, we'll take a look at them.
Alright, can Japanese maples survive like a winter freeze?
Yes, if they are well established. I do have some smaller ones, and I would have to say in our zone and environment here, they are pretty tough plants, which I did not know. Like I could be planting a small one as long as you plant it early enough in the fall, for example, if you're in the same zone as here. I would say before your first frost or freeze, mainly freeze, I would say if you can give it a good month before your first freeze, that way it has some time to establish some roots, then more likely it will survive. The ones that I planted, they all have come back. I have not killed a Japanese maple yet, to my knowledge. I mean, I don't think I've killed any. And both they're all both in containers and in the ground as well. Now, last year I bought a Japanese maple, didn't know where to plant it, so that one was in the garage in the container, and I was surprised it got some dye back. So usually I was not expecting that, and even planted in the container it didn't do as well. So that tells me that it probably would have liked it better in the ground. But again, it was a new plant, so who knows? But yes, as far as our zone and environment here, it's pretty hardy to my knowledge. Now I don't know; it could be different depending on where you are with gardening. It just all depends. Just a lot of different factors. Anyway, long answer.
Come on, brother. All right.
Sorry.
Next question. Do any pests eat Japanese maples?
Well, all plants, unfortunately, are susceptible to pests. It's nature, of course, is in nature, and you know, pests find ways to get into plants if they wanted to. So, I, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, we have not seen any pests in the Japanese maples. Although you and I, we saw the sap, the weeping sap out of the one in the front here, and I was really scared. I was like, please, I don't want to lose this Japanese maple because this is basically our only tree close to the house right now, and it's so beautiful. I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably cry. if it, Probably cry if it died. But anyway, I researched it. It could be under some kind of stress because we didn't see, right? We didn't see any
Yeah.
puncture holes. So we're keeping an eye on that. And if it's still the way it is going into winter, and we'll see it again. We'll take a look at it in the spring, and if it's not going away, we might have to cut off that branch. Unfortunately, it's just to save the rest of the plant. I did do a lot of pruning in that section in the spring just to get to lift up the canopy because it was kind of hard to walk through the pathway. We had to like bend, and I was thinking about like delivery people. They might like it better to have an open pathway right there. Anyway, we'll just have to see what happens. But the other Japanese maples, I have not noticed anything. But again, it doesn't mean it could be. It doesn't mean it couldn't get infected by any pest. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is that when we do have, when the Japanese beetles come through, if they can't find plants that they like, in the garden, they will go after this Japanese maple in the front here and another plant. But yes, it can get eaten. The leaves could get eaten by the Japanese beetles. So that'd be interesting if you all could, share with us if you notice any pests with your Japanese maples.
All right. Next question. Do any
Wait,
animals?
what
Wait.
question is this?
This is sort of on the same topic of pests slash animals.
What question is this?
Question 9.
Oh my gosh, we're almost done.
Do any animals like Japanese maples?
Do what?
Do any animals like Japanese maples?
Can you clarify?
Clarify as in like, can there be like any animals that like are attracted to it, or can you attach something to it that animals might be attracted to?
Yeah, well, so it could be like the other question, like you said, you mentioned. Um, Again, anything can infect it or, damage it. I've seen birds come through. They like to perch on the branches. One time there was a nest here, and I know that hummingbirds were always around the the branches here, and Japanese maples, of course, if they don't have like roses to eat off, the Japanese maple foliage here is something that they might be interested in. Um, yeah, that's what I noticed.
All right, last question before we move on to these little other
Oh,
questions.
let me move because I could feel the sun is in my eye. Oh,
Uh,
and this
just for
thing always
clarification, that
comes.
chair is kind of broken.
Yeah.
Question before we move on to the bonus questions.
How many minutes has it been?
Probably
Because it
around
might be
like,
too long.
no, it's like 16 minutes.
16?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Anyways, but last question before we move on to some bonus
Last
ones.
question.
What infection/diseases do Japanese maples can get?
I think we've answered those questions already.
Just give me like some
They
examples.
could get boars, they could get spider mites. Yeah, I would say it can get infected with any kinds of pests. It's good to like I like to limb up my plants like trees and shrubs so that way there's more airflow um, just around the plant. So with by doing that, I like to think that they're less susceptible to, you know, pest damage. So,
All right, we're gonna do a couple bonus questions. Is it a
oh, we are
couple?
going to be doing bonus questions.
Yes.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
getting hot
First
right
bonus
now.
question. What is your favorite animal?
What's my favorite?
Don't you like ever think of that or something?
I would say like a stallion, like a horse, like a either a black or white stallion.
Mm.
Like wild, it would have to be like wild horses.
Oh.
That'd be pretty. I mean, yeah, I've always liked a wild stallion,
I don't know whether you saw
black
it.
or white.
I don't know whether you saw it, but there was a hawk carrying a snake.
Are you serious?
Yes. That was hilarious.
You saw an actual snake?
Yeah, a hawk was carrying some snake in its mouth or something.
How could you tell it was a snake?
'Cause the way that it looked.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Anyways, but
It's like very rustic over here. We have a lot of
yeah.
wild animal activities.
All right, next question. What is your favorite color? Even though most people probably don't know that.
Well, I change periodically, but right now I think probably like magenta purplish color.
Classic.
Classic girl colors, I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I don't know, so maybe some funny questions.
All right. Another bonus question. What is your least favorite weed?
Least all of them, seriously. The ones that we have here are crazy. The spurge, I don't know how we ended up with spurge, but yeah, I don't like them at all. Or it. Um, the oxalis. Let me just tell you the weeds that are seen here. Oxalis, spurge, and the wild violet. Those are the three that are constantly being weeded. And right now, summer, you get grass. So those are my top three weeds that I do not like to see, and they're all over, unfortunately. And with the nice weather, the wet, spring, and now still wet summer. Now we get the humidity too. Anyway, yeah.
All
Those
right.
are the three.
Last bonus question.
Oh my gosh, so many bonus questions.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
I don't know any favorite dinosaurs. I'm not crazy about dinosaurs.
I'm like a dinosaur fanatic. I know like
Probably
about like
the
200.
ones that don't eat animals, the herbivores.
Yeah. You're okay. My favorites are probably either the Daspletosaurus or the Deltadromeus.
Oh yeah.
Even though you probably don't know what they are.
No, I do not know.
I'm pretty sure your viewers might know if they did a little bit of research.
They might.
But they're all carnivores because carnivores are better than herbivores.
I'm pretty sure you have more. They probably have more. They're stronger and more. They have more energy.
Well, the Delta Dromius is more known for speed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah, they have the agility, the fastness too. All right, so I think that's it. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this Q&A with my son, and if you would like to see more Q&As like this or with other topics with my son, we'll be happy to, maybe do this as a series, right?
Yeah.
You never know. So, yes, please let us know. Comment, like, and share if you do like this video. And anything you want to say?
Well, if you made it this far into the video, type banana in the comments
Type
to throw
banana.
off everyone.
Okay, you heard that. Please type the word banana if you made it this far. We really enjoyed, having you here to, be a part of our lives over here. And I don't know. It's just been fun. It's been fun having my son here. So this is his first official video with me. So actually, no, this is our second time. We had a Q&A one
Yeah,
other
like
time too. Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe? I forget.
Yeah, something like that. Well, anyway, thank you so much if you stayed on this long, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful again. And until the next one, take care and bye for now.